The hotel room door opened while I was in the shower, and for a few seconds I convinced myself I had imagined it, because panic does that. It makes you want the obvious explanation more than the correct one. I was 26 at the time, traveling for work as a regional sales rep for a medical supply company, which meant I spent an unhealthy amount of my life in chain hotels just off interstates. Most trips blurred together after a while. Same beige hallways, same fake framed art over the beds, same industrial smell in the lobbies from whatever cleaning solution they all used. This happened outside Tulsa during a 2-night conference stay at one of those mid-range business hotels attached to a convention center. Nothing sketchy, not some rundown roadside motel. I checked in around 7 p.m., dropped my bags, went downstairs for the networking dinner, and came back up to my room a little after 10, room 814. I remember because I still avoid hotel rooms ending in 14 if I can help it, which I know is irrational. The room itself looked normal. King bed, desk by the window, bathroom off to the left, that generic abstract wall art hotels always have that looks like someone printed a spreadsheet onto canvas. I did what I always do in hotels: deadbolt, latch, quick check of the closet and bathroom because I've watched too many crime shows. Everything was fine. I FaceTimed my girlfriend for maybe 20 minutes, answered a couple emails, then took a shower because I had an early breakfast meeting the next morning. About halfway through rinsing shampoo out of my hair, I heard the electronic chirp of the room lock disengaging. If you stay in hotels enough, you know that sound instantly, that little mechanical click whir, followed by the handle. At first I just froze under the water thinking maybe it was the room next door. Then I heard my own door open. Clear as day. Then shut. My stomach dropped so hard I nearly slipped. I shut the water off immediately and listened. Silence. Total silence except water dripping. I remember standing there dripping wet, trying to think logically. Maybe housekeeping entered by mistake. Maybe maintenance. Maybe I'd forgotten to engage the latch. But I knew I had. They always did. I wrapped a towel around myself and cracked the bathroom door open. The room looked empty. Nothing moved. My suitcase was where I left it. The TV was still on mute. Door closed, deadbolt still engaged. That part made no sense. I walked over and checked it twice. Locked from the inside. Security latch still across. I stood there staring at it, genuinely wondering if exhaustion had made me hear something else entirely. Maybe someone in the hallway. Maybe plumbing noise through the walls. I almost laughed at myself. Then I noticed my laptop bag had been moved. Not stolen. Moved. I'd left it on the desk chair. It was now on the floor beside the bed. Upright. Zipper partially open. I know exactly where I'd left it because I had plugged my charger into the side pocket, and the cord was still draped over the desk. I remember just standing there staring at the bag, with water dripping off my hair onto the carpet. I checked inside. Laptop there, wallet there, work badge there, nothing missing that I could tell. I called the front desk and asked if anyone had entered my room. The woman sounded confused and said no. No housekeeping or maintenance had been sent to occupied rooms that late. She offered to send security up. Security consisted of one older guy in a blazer with a flashlight who checked the hallway and shrugged. He said maybe the latch hadn't fully caught and someone opened the wrong door before realizing. I pointed out that the latch was engaged. He kind of avoided that part and asked if I wanted a new room. I should have taken it. I know I should have. But I had a 7 a.m. meeting, all my stuff unpacked, and at that point I still felt half embarrassed, like maybe I was being dramatic over something explainable. So I stayed. I pushed the dresser in front of the door before bed anyway. Around 2:30 in the morning, the room phone rang, loud enough to make me jolt upright. I answered groggily thinking maybe it was front desk, but when I picked up, no one spoke, just breathing. Slow, close breathing, like the caller had the receiver pressed against their mouth. I hung up immediately. It rang again less than 10 seconds later. Same thing, no voice, just breathing. I unplugged the phone from the wall after that and barely slept. In the morning I reported it again, and the front desk said there was no record of any calls placed to my room overnight. They blamed a system glitch. Another explanation that didn't really explain anything. I spent the entire day in conference sessions trying to function on 2 hours of sleep. And honestly, by afternoon I'd started convincing myself maybe the whole thing had snowballed in my head. Fatigue, stress, weird noises, creepy coincidence. I almost checked out early but didn't because I had dinner, plans with clients, and another meeting the next morning. That night, I returned around 9:45 and immediately knew something in the room was off. My suitcase, which I always keep closed on the luggage rack, was unzipped halfway. One of my dress shirts had been unfolded and tossed back and crooked. Toiletries bag open in the bathroom. Nothing gone. Again, just disturbed. Deliberately. I went straight downstairs and demanded a different room. The manager apologized, said housekeeping must have entered accidentally, despite the do not disturb sign, which was nonsense because I'd left a sign hanging all day and no one should have been in there regardless. He reassigned me to 1113 on the opposite side of the building and comped the night. I packed everything myself while he stood awkwardly in the doorway making small talk, and for a while I thought that would be the end of it. New room, different floor, problem solved. But when I got to 1113, my replacement key card didn't work. Neither did the second one he'd given me. I had to go back downstairs. The same desk clerk reprogrammed them while apologizing, and when I returned, this part still makes my skin crawl. The door to 1113 was already cracked open, just slightly. I hadn't been inside yet. My bags were still with me. I stood there in the hallway staring at that narrow black gap for probably 10 seconds before backing away and calling the front desk from my cell. Security came up with me. The room was empty, no signs of anyone. The security guy joked, maybe the latch hadn't caught. Same line as before. I asked for a third room. They said the hotel was sold out because of the conference. At that point, I almost left entirely, but it was nearing midnight. Every nearby hotel was booked, and I had meetings at dawn. So against every instinct I had, I stayed in 1113. I shoved the desk against the door, wedged the water glass on the handle like people do in bad movies, and sat awake in bed with the TV on until after 1 a.m. Nothing happened. Eventually, I fell asleep. I woke up because someone knocked 3 times on the window. Not the door, the window. My room was on the 11th floor. I shot upright so fast I thought my heart would stop. 3 knocks, glass, directly behind the blackout curtains. I just stared at them. I couldn't breathe. Then it happened again. Tap, tap, tap. Deliberate, human rhythm. My first thought, absurdly, was maybe something hanging outside in the wind, but there was no wind. And even if there had been, 11 stories up. I called the front desk whispering, because I don't know, panic makes you irrational. They sent security again. By the time anyone came, the knocking had stopped. Security checked the exterior from the parking lot, checked adjacent rooms, checked maintenance access. Nothing. The manager comped another apology breakfast voucher and acted like I was becoming a problem guest. I should have left then. Instead, I got through the next morning's meeting and checked out immediately afterward. But the worst part didn't happen until I was already home. 2 days later, I realized one of my dress shirts still smelled wrong, like cologne, not mine. Heavy, musky, older man kind of cologne. I thought maybe it had picked up odor in the closet somehow, until I reached into the chest pocket while unpacking and found a folded piece of hotel stationery tucked inside. It had one sentence written on it in blue pen. You should have stayed in 814. No signature, no handwriting I recognized. My hands went numb reading it. I called the hotel. Management swore no employee would do something like that. They promised to investigate. I never heard back. So I pushed harder, called corporate, filed a formal complaint. Eventually, someone from regional security contacted me and asked for details I hadn't previously mentioned publicly. Specific times, which staff I'd spoken to, whether I'd noticed anyone around my floor. A week later, he called back sounding much more serious. He wouldn't tell me much, but he said an employee had been terminated following internal review and local law enforcement had been notified. When I pressed for what that meant, he only said there had been unauthorized room access incidents involving multiple guests. That was it. No names, no specifics, nothing else. Maybe some staff member had been entering rooms to steal and got off on scaring people. Maybe someone was using a master key to watch guests when they thought rooms were empty. Maybe I was specifically targeted, or maybe I just happened to be one in a line of people who noticed. I don't know. What I do know is 6 months later, I was on another work trip in Denver, checking into an entirely different hotel, when the woman at the desk slid my room keys over and said, "You're in 814, sir." And before I could stop myself, I actually felt my stomach turn. I laughed it off, asked if she had anything else available, and when she asked why, I told her I just didn't like that room number. She switched it without question. But when I got upstairs to the new room and opened my suitcase, tucked into the folded collar of the same dress shirt from Tulsa, the one I swear I had washed twice since then, was another piece of hotel stationery I had never seen before. Blank except for one handwritten word in the center. Again.